in France in the caves and cave paintings. I found, of course, that they kind of correspond to the surface of the wall. That shapes animals are kind of corresponding to the shape of the wall. And I can imagine that in the low light, these people kind of saw the shadows and on the wall. And there is even syndrome which basically might happen to the normal people, absolutely normal people with a normal vision or whatever. But in visually impaired circumstances, when their let's say their eyes are maybe impaired in certain way, their vision, or maybe in a dark places, people have visions and very complex visions. Perfectly normal people, not mentally ill or anything like that, have a vision of things, whole animations, so to speak, very, very complex. So I wouldn't be surprised with these painters of the cave. They might even have visions of animals they painted. Anyhow, they used this kind of lines on the wall and constructed these paintings. So there are many things. Leonardo da Vinci, for example, he advocated painters, the technique for painters to exercise basically the imagination exactly this way. In the morning or in the evening, laying in bed, you basically look into the curtains or shadows on the wall and try to see the faces or parts of the body or complex scenes or whatever. So he advocates actually this kind of exercise to painters to train their imagination. There's probably many connections, and you could see the whole concept of the line and the way we see, which cognitive science probably has a lot to say to us about how do we actually perceive and how we see and how our mind actually constructs the pictures of reality and how do we actually see. It's a complex process. And I rather would like to look into this cognitive science to tell me what's happening with my method than rather to Freud. I would distance myself definitely from this kind of interpretation. So then my wife Tina and I, we came to kind of to do some kind of experiment to help us to determine, how random are these lines, and are they completely random, or is there any connection between drawing the lines on the canvas and the picture which is intended? Is there some kind of maybe mechanism of mind involved into this? I know that what is important really is this kinetic aspect, which we might say, in a sense, connect what I'm doing to the action painting, where action painting like let's say Pollock's, which of course he in a sense slapped his lines, but you could see the gesture with which he did this. There is a particular gesture he used as well to do these lines, and I think it's very important this connection somewhere between this kinetic gesture thing and our mind, and I think these lines and the way I'm drawing these lines will be probably specific to me. I will draw the lines in a certain way. Maybe other people will draw the lines in different ways, specific to them. We know that the painters have their own doodles, and so there's a lot of kind of questions around it, which probably need to be answered and maybe studied. But initially, I want to just to check the randomness of these lines. So we designed the experiment whereby I will pick 3 subjects, and then I would draw the lines for each of the subject. And Martina, who is actually a cognitive psychologist as well, she will code them in a way I don't know, and then we will mix them together after some time, I leave it for some time, and I will pick it randomly, and I will try to find the picture. And if it corresponds to the design, to the intended one, then we will find some connection, but maybe it's not random. If not, if it's completely random, and I still think that it's a very valuable exercise, and very helpful to create really interesting paintings, which are maybe not traditional, or paintings which really bring something, I would say, surprising. Element of surprise. There is, when I paint this using this way. I'm painting a couple of paintings now using this way, this method, and I was always surprised. I was always surprised what came out. And it takes a long time initially, because it's not an easy thing to actually see the picture in the lines. It takes some time, takes some effort, but the result, it's always a surprise. It's a surprise, and in a sense, it's a pleasant surprise. So it's something nice, and really brings something interesting to the picture. This is why I'm trying to advocate this, and I would love to study this more and explore this more, because I think there's some potential there. But anyhow, initially we're doing this experiment just to check for randomness, and I already did these lines, which I have already done somewhere on a different part of this. Now these are the lines, and the traditional design for these lines was this. This is from a book about six Romanian girls who went from the villages to the city to study, and during the Ceausescu regime, the book describes basically horrible conditions, and one of them was probably killed, murdered, or killed herself by hanging herself in a wardrobe. And this would kind of inspire me for this particular painting. And this is this traditional design I did, kind of an initial design. And then I drew these lines for it, which Martina will mark for later use. So filming of these lines is on another part. So that's it. We will explore this in more detail later. Thank you.